I'm on my laptop.
Okay. Oh, it says destination could not be started. Here's the details. So for some reason, we're
It's on
on
YouTube.
YouTube,
We're on YouTube
but the
because I saw it pop
Facebook
up.
is going to be the problem today. All right, I'm just gonna send the YouTube link over to Facebook.
Okay.
Um, while we getting started.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yes. So excited. Yes. Yes. Uh-oh. I'm turning.
all right.
What's
So
up?
let's
What's up? What's up? I got
yep.
one more piece
So
of bacon. And you can best believe I'm gonna eat it.
yeah. So there we go. Uh, let's get this.
Sorry guys, I'm gonna eat this last piece of bacon.
Let's get it started. You don't know if we're doing MC Hammer or not. But it is a wonderful morning. We're on live right now. Uh, uh-oh.
This is about to be a great discussion.
Yeah. Um, so while we're
Um,
getting it together, um, host. Oh, okay. Woo. It is a me thing. Me, let me let it turn this on. Good morning, everybody. Um,
Good morning, guys. Man, have we got a great topic today? I am so ready. And I eat my last piece of bacon.
go ahead.
While Michael is doing that, guys, chime in. Just say hello. Let us know that you're watching. Even if you're on the replay, chime in and say hello. We like to hear from everybody. We like to see everybody. We like to know you're there. You're there listening to us talk industry shop talk.
Yeah, we are here.
And let us know what you're watching. Let us know what you're watching. Like chime in, jump in the chats. Let's go. This is a beautiful Saturday. June has left us. June 2024 is over. We are in the last, what is it? Now June is gone. So really August, September, October, November, December. It's like 5 months left.
Yeah.
5 months left in 2024. Can you guys believe it? Like I absolutely. Whew. Mm-mm. Mr. Derek Hammond, good morning.
Good
How are
morning, Derek.
you? Good to see you. Oh, the sun is so pretty outside. It is so hot in Texas, guys. Yeah, I know God has me door dashing, and literally, I'm looking at 111, 113 on the dash. I'm like, listen here. You guys,
Yeah,
you people better enjoy this food.
because it is.
You have a question for TK? Go ahead, Mark. Welcome.
Good morning, Mark.
I am an open book, literally.
Oh, you know what, TK? Before Mark, put your question in, but before we get to the question, we got to do our little thing.
Okay. Well, no, I was
Oh,
waiting on you.
oh, I am so sorry. Yeah.
I was no, I was waiting on you to type in everything. Ghost. What's
Oh,
ghost, Derek? Okay, and Mark, I'll get to your question right when
here we
we
go. Here
get
we
us
go.
in.
Here we go. Here
Go
we
ahead.
go. He's probably watching Power Book too, but here we go. Let's
Oh,
do what we do, how we do it, and we are going to do it the way we normally do it because we got to always bring in our show. Let's
mm-hmm.
do this, and away we go. Oops. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Saturday morning in the industry shop talk. It's hosted by the Black Filmmakers Lounge. The Black Filmmakers Lounge is where independent filmmakers, whether novelists or professionals, could come together to gain insight and perspective through education, information, networking, and to discuss industry best practices that will advance the Black interdependent film community. I'm your host, Michael Melvin, with my co-host, Tamara T.K. Henderson, and our other co-host, Jacoby Simmons. He's here. And
Baby, that was
he
a
got an
fun.
audio problem. Check the audio, brother.
That was
Check the audio.
My audio ain't coming in.
Your audio's doing
No.
that hissing,
Crackling thing.
yeah, crackling hissing sound now.
I think it only does that when you're with y'all.
Nah, it's your cables. I can tell you. This guy don't want to fix his cables.
I
Darn.
need some more light. Y'all can't see me. Let me see.
I'm surprised you don't hear it. Oh, you're not wearing an earpiece.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to get one.
Yeah, you always got to get earpiece, man, so you can hear all the nuances that show up when you're talking. But
Yeah, you crackle. You like snap, crackle, and pop.
yeah.
You see my
Miss-
mug,
Mr.
right?
Right. I saw your mug last week. I saw your Mr. Right mug last week.
So, all right. Good morning. So today's topic is self-now.
I'm excited about this.
Today's topics are what you watching, things you do as a filmmaker that others will think are strange, and of course, how do you come up with film ideas, and plus much more. So let's get into our normal opener. Good morning, Jacoby. Good morning, TK. What you watched this week?
Oh, we gotta go first now.
Yeah, well, TK should be going first because it's always ladies first. We're gentlemen in here.
Yeah, but I didn't watch nothing this week. Keep moving.
Oh, okay. See, now she got.
I know. Some of y'all are getting used to it, so when I watch stuff, y'all get surprised, like, oh, TK watched something this week. Don't worry. Don't worry. Yeah, my DoorDash days are coming to an end, so I'll be watching way more stuff. I'll be less tired. But anyway, go ahead, guys. Take it away.
All right, Jacoby.
So you know I've been watching The Acolyte,
Yeah.
The Boys. I also watch. My wife has me watch. I call it her murder kill shows.
Mhm.
But these different shows about murders. That's what they're about. The mysterious murders and stuff like true crime. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
I used to
what
watch
I've
those
been
all the time.
Yeah, so my wife has me watching that, so I had to give her a shout out. And so that's where I'm at. Now, I've been watching, and also because I'm a sports documentarian, lately I've been watching sports documentaries to think about technique, style, and what people are doing. So I've seen, before they were brothers, which we're talking about too.
I love that one. The two Escobars.
No. This is about two basketball players. But then when the
Oh,
Russian
no,
war
no.
broke out, how they became enemies.
I saw that one too. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Two Escobars is one of my favorites, but I saw that one too. They both came over here from a different country.
Yeah.
I told you sports documentary is my thing. Yeah, that one. That's really good. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And so that's what I was doing, looking at the technique and everything
So
Linsanity,
the
Linsanity is really
question
good.
was, why is there static? Something is going on with the audio. So the audio issue
else. Yeah, I don't think
is
it's me, but we'll see.
a Jacoby problem,
It's Jacoby.
and so it's a cabling thing problem. I might have to go at some
Can
point
you
when I
hear
get back
Jacoby
to
since you put on
Jacoby's
your
house and
headphones?
fix up his audio.
Not yet, but I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, it's like a video game, bad video game from back in the 80s. There you
Oh
go.
wow.
Sound like
Yeah, Jacoby.
Space Invaders. All right, you know what? Switch. You got a microphone, or you switched to your mic? I don't know. Then what's up?
Yeah,
But it
it's
got
just like
stronger.
it's ongoing. Yeah, it's ongoing stat.
Yeah, it got stronger. It sounds like old dial-up, Michael said. All right.
It does. It exactly says. Two Escobars is
There you
very good,
go.
Jacoby.
Now it's gone.
It's gone.
Now it's back.
It's gone. Whatever you just did is gone.
You good?
Talk, Jacoby.
Uh-oh.
Say something, Jacoby. He's still
Muted
moving, so he's
himself.
not stuck.
He had to mute himself. It's a cable issue. I can tell you it's a
okay.
cable. That definitely is a cable issue because he's moved the cable before and it went away. So it's to me, it's a cable issue or a connection. One of his
Yeah,
connectors.
I'm all like Jacoby. I know you can probably still hear us, but while you're fixing that, I can definitely recommend sports documentaries because, like I said, that's my number one genre. Um, Two Escobars is very good too. Um, yeah. So, well, while he's doing that, what did you watch this week, Michael? Because I know you've been at
All right.
cybersecurity training.
Yeah. So I went to there's a program here in Maryland, and I think it's around the country called Gen Cyber, and it's for teachers, and we learn about cybersecurity and technology and how. So this is at Towson State University. So I
Mm-hmm.
went away for a week, stayed on campus,
Mm-hmm.
and every day we went to a room, like a classroom. But we actually did a lot of hands-on, a lot of interaction.
Oh, good. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you guys a little something about me. Um, the first day I was with some guys from Baltimore County, and we were hanging out, laughing at our seats. And one of the things was to crack locks, pick locks, because that's what happens inside. People pick your codes, they pick your locks. There's systems that lock them in. So you got a lock pick kit. You have like the master locks that you put like bicycles and all that, right? The thick ones.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a case in the front. It's supposed to have gold bars in it, and you have to pick the locks, and you can get the gold bars that are inside. So, well, my initial thing is you get locks, you get keys, test the key out. It's the first thing you test out. So the key worked on one of the locks.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went and one guy did it and he locked it. So we locked it back, but we knew the key worked. The other one, the key didn't work. So we had to fix that lock. So while we're at our table messing with the locks, I'm sitting there, I'm popping the locks. So they're like a acrylic, they're not glasses, acrylic. So you can actually see within. I actually got a set. I won a set yesterday from the raffle. So now I got something to play with. And you don't want to give me stuff like that. Because when you was a kid, used to get locked out your house. You used to take your ID card and swipe it to the door and they'll open it, right? And then because that's where the bolted locks came into play and stuff like that. And so we ended up popping the lock. Let's just put it that way. And we did it pretty fast. Like, they were like, that's fast. So we were delinquents. But it was cool. It was cool. We did a lot of stuff. You learned about coding. I got to play microbits and stuff like that. And of course, ideas me popping up in my head, because when I do stuff is when
You
I
got some war games going on.
yeah. And of course we're having fun. I gotta have fun. You gotta laugh. And so but outside of that, I watched the Acolytes. I watched the boys. Um, that's Jacoby check getting back in. Um, I watched the boys, and I did a few other things. The boys, Acolytes, Power, and we watched The Beekeeper. I don't know if you guys. I've watched. This is the second time. I kind of fell asleep because I've seen it before, and I was really tired. Because I actually being away. I will tell you this. I do not know how college students sleep on those mattresses they had that we slept on, because my mattresses from college were a little thicker. Theirs is like mad thin.
They got them
And
jailhouse mattresses now.
yeah. So, and we all still had the vinyl or plastic like coating cover on the mattresses and stuff. But, you know, it was cool though. But it made me think about something. But we watched The Beekeeper. And so if you haven't seen The Beekeeper, the premises is, Jason Statham is this guy who's part of a beekeeper organization, and he retired and he keeps bees and makes honey. That's all he does. And he lives on a farm. He uses a rent space on a farm for the bees and his honey with Felicia Rashad, right? And her computer gets hacked. And if you've seen the trailer, I'm not telling anything that's not in the trailer. So they cipher off money from her accounts, her retirement, the money she's over for a nonprofit. I mean, millions of dollars. She's zero her account. And she's elderly. So by that happening, she commits suicide. Her character commits suicide in that thing.
No.
Because here's the thing, when it comes to and this is what if you don't know, you're going to learn something. Most attacks happen on the elderly and people who are uneducated. Like, if you don't know, a fraud happens because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what computers. You don't know how to protect yourself. You don't change your password. All these things, and it's fascinating. But we are talking about how diversity and equality and that impact on the community. So that's why that made me think about something, because of course, my brain's turning. I got ideas, because the objective, part of this objective is to make sure you reach underserved communities, right? To educate them on cybersecurity and to educate them on careers in the cybersecurity industry, because there's tons of jobs, right? And so that was like one of the coolest things, and that's what spawned part of today's topic is, how do you come up with ideas, and just having conversations and things like that, because The Beekeeper is a unique movie. I think they're supposed to be making a sequel, because it actually did really well when it came out. But if you haven't seen it, go check it out. So yeah, that's me right there in a nutshell for this week. It was cool. That was a really cool experience. I did a lot of stuff, and it was good stuff. But it was really fun. And I got to work on my lessons, because I teach 2 lessons on it during the school year. So
Okay, that's good. So you were able to sit back and be talked to and take in stuff versus constantly pouring out.
yeah. Yeah. No, it's
Listen,
good stuff. It's good stuff.
I know that's good. I pick up on that because I'm constantly pouring out. So I know, I'm like, oh, you got to take in.
But here's the thing too. We never know what we know until we know it. Like, we're there and we're like, oh, I know that. But like playing the games because you're looking at time. Like, I messed up on one of the games and the answer was fiber optics, which I should know, right? But I'm sitting here writing Quaxita, Fios, like, how do you connect to the internet? And I'm sitting there like, yeah, fiber optics.
Oh Lord,
Yeah.
it was 100. It wasn't even 101 for you. It was 100.
No, I forget. No,
Anyway,
no, it was
That
everything.
happened.
But yeah. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
anyway,
Jacoby?
Jacoby. No, I was going to say Jacoby. Did you hear me earlier when I was talking about the two Escobars, Jacoby?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. But your audios, I wanted you to talk to because yeah, your audio was on point right now, Jacoby. You
Yeah, if
did
you turn your
that.
mic up a little bit, we good too.
Yep,
Unless
you
that's
got
gonna
it
mess with
together.
something, then I'm
So,
not gonna worry about it.
um, okay, so Jacoby, you said you watched Two Brothers, which is a great, great documentary. And what else did you get to? Oh, he said the Acolytes
Acolyte,
or
yeah.
Yes.
Amorite, the Amorites, Acolyte, somebody in the Bible, and then who else you say?
The Acolyte and the Boys.
And the boys. Okay.
They were
Yeah, those are
both
my
Um,
good
shows.
too. Yeah,
I
to
thought I
me
was gonna
they
get
were
to
Well,
both
watch
good.
some movies. I downloaded some movies because I want to watch the Black Barbie documentary, and I downloaded some
uh,
stuff on the way coming up here because it was like a 6 7 hour drive. But we end up just chitting, spending time with family that I don't normally have to
mm-hmm.
spend time with. So yeah, I had downloaded movies. I was like, let's watch some movies, and it was like, yeah, that didn't happen. But before we transition to our topic, I'd like to address Mark's question. The question is, if you don't mind posting it, Michael, as a writer, what's your opinion of screenwriting competitions? Um, well, I will tell you this: screenwriting competitions, you don't know who's reading your scripts. That's number
Mhm.
one. Because there are different levels. And with the Austin Film Festival and the Nichols Fellowship, of maybe about 4 years ago, they were up to 11,000 entries for each one. And I found out that Austin Film Festival, I was in line with the girl with the Austin Film Festival, and I said, "Did you?" I said, "Do you?" It was either South by Southwest or Austin Film Festival. I'm sorry, guys. Um, Anyway, both of them, I believe, have the same technique because I've read for both of them. But what they did was, I asked the girl, was she in the industry? She said, no, I read some scripts to get this
Mhm.
passed. And I said, so you write? She said, no. I said, so you're not in the industry, you're not a screenwriter, and you're not a filmmaker, but you read scripts to get the pass. She said, yes. That's when I stopped sending my money to screenwriting competitions. Because if I go and have to learn the techniques of how to structure, how to do dialogue, how to, do all of this work to
Mhm.
properly write a script, and then I'm paying my money to send it to a competition where somebody who knows not even the basics is reading it and judging it, that's not going to work for me. So they do have smaller screenwriting competitions. So I
Mhm.
mean, it's really discern. Some of the I know the what is it? The Houston International Black Film Festival. They have a smaller competition. Den
Mm-hmm.
Black Film Festival. We'll get them back on, but they have a short script competition for Texas screenwriters. I need to make sure I tell Crystal that too. Thomas, I have to check with Thomas. We'll have him on as well, but I think I have to find out if they have a script writing competition, but they have the film festival coming up in October.
Okay.
But Thomas Carter. But
Mhm.
I kind of sort of stayed away from it because for me, it wasn't going to be my path. I realized that after being in this game for 18 years on the writing side, 24 in the entertainment side, I realized that that was not going to be my past. I mean, my path.
Mm-hmm.
Derek said, I think a majority of them are scams. And I would say I'm in between too. Like you got your I think it depends. I would look for what's endorsed by like Final Draft.
Then
Um
Black Film Festival is going to be endorsed
yeah.
by Final Draft, so that's good.
Um
Yeah.
I would look for people who've entered it before and
Mm-hmm.
ask them questions on what they think.
Right.
See who's judging because usually sometimes they publish who the judges are, or they should
Mm-hmm.
really, right? Um, Me personally, I think it's a way to take ideas. I'm not saying all of them do it, but I think script writing contests can be ways to take ideas. Because the one thing you can't copyright is an idea. You can copyright your script, and I'm sure,
Right.
like, and I'll be honest, I think half or less of more than half the people that submit to those things sometimes don't have a copywritten script. They just sitting in a script
Mm-hmm.
instead of covering themselves. Some people know copyright your script first, and you can do it online. They set PDFs online if you copyright
Oh
them.
yeah.
Take the TX, do the TX
US
form. I know the price has gone up. I can't remember how much yet because I haven't had to
20.
copyright anything
Well,
yet.
it last it was 25 for WGA.
Well, no, that's
WGA
WGA
West.
is not a copyright. That's just registration with WGA. Actual copyright is copyrighting the work. So that's a good because I was going to bring
with
that
the
up
U.S.
too.
Department with the U.S. Department of Copyright. Which,
Yeah.
let me tell you something. Copywriting the script with the U.S. Department of Copyright is like you might as well get you a cup of coffee, a plate of food, get you a shot, like get you everything set up.
Why?
It have you ever? I've done it
All the
a
time.
lot of times. I do too, and it is not simple. I don't know
You
how.
just fill out the paperwork. Like if once you've filled it out before, you know how to fill it out. But and
Mhm.
it goes through the stuff. But like you do the TX form, it's a written script. So you're doing a TX form for text, and then
When you when you add a
you're
second writer on there, it becomes a big
yeah, because you got
problem.
to put that information in there. You got to have their stuff. Uh,
No,
but
they email you after the fact. They months later they will email the person like it when I because I'm since I co-write people rewrite and do go in and do rewrites and stuff. They will
mhm.
go back months later and then they will send the people a copy and ask, "Am I the co-writer?" Like I'm telling you,
Oh,
it's
I
a
never had
whole
that problem. Even when I had a co-writer, I didn't have that. Like I got the copy. I sent it in. I provided that person's information and everything. Um, and but you know how I do my contracts and stuff anyway, a certain way.
Yeah,
But
every time I do this, and we have a co-writer situation, it's been at least 3 or 4 times. Every time we have to go through this process, and months later they send us back. You got to email them back, like, yes, this person is the co-writer. It's been I don't know what it is. I don't know what it
okay,
is, but every time it's 65 now. So U.S. Department, so
yeah.
WGA West copyright holds for or registration holds for 5 years. It's supposed to be protect your script like a copyright, but it registers it and holds it for 5 years.
I
U.S.
I don't think WGA really protects because like what I learned is WGA is
Mhm.
just a registration with the Writers Guild. It doesn't hold the same weight as an actual copyright. Like it does
Well, the
not
way they
protect your
promote
work.
it,
But
it
it lets you know that that script existed. But even WGA tells you, you go to their website, they say copyright your script. That's what they tell
well
you.
when in the past based on my research
Hmm.
they held it up. They must have changed it in years because when I did my research years ago it was basically like you can do either or. This one lasts for 5 years. This one so they claimed it was the same weight as a copyright,
70
WGS
copyright is like what? I think it's your lifetime plus
lifetime.
70 years after your death or
Right.
something like that, right?
Right.
So
And
um
WGA was 5 years because I have to renew like I have some scripts I've done through WGA and some scripts I've done through the U.S. Department of Copyright, and you have to renew every 5 years. It's like $20 to renew. It was $25 to register, and then to renew it, it was twenty
maybe
dollars.
we got to do an episode. And when we do our educational stuff, we do an episode in September about copywriting and
Yeah, we
WGA
will because I
registration.
have like
And then
I think
like
I have.
on screen process. Like we'll go walk through it on the screen,
Baby,
you
let's
know.
do it. I have what? How many? I think I have 14 original scripts that are copywritten.
Mm-hmm.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
14 original. So yeah, the process. I just hate U.S. Department of Copyright. It's not user friendly.
Yeah, cuz I mean, I've done the music, I've done my feature films, I've done the scripts. So I've pretty much copyright everything I've done.
Good.
Uh
I'm just gonna hire you to do mine. Derek say I don't. I'm just gonna hire you to do mine because it's. I swear it's like the Pentagon to me. I'm like,
Nah, it's not. It's not. It's not difficult. I don't think it's difficult,
fine.
but I mean, I'm used to it because
That
I've been
look,
copywriting since I was a kid. Like I'm used to it.
that's why I
Like
said. That's why I
when they went
said.
to the
I
computer
just
thing, I was
I
like,
just
this is
started
much
17
easier.
years ago. So
Because when I was doing it when I was younger, I used to take a trip to DC to the copyright office to drop it off. Like that was get on the
that
metro
is simple.
and go to the copyright office. It was a cool experience. And you just
That
dropping
would
it off. It is nothing. And the moment you submit it is when your copyright actually starts. And it
Mm-hmm.
takes about like it could take about 6 weeks to 6 months before you get your actual copyright certificate with your number and everything. But the copyright starts the moment they receive it.
That's what I'm gonna
And
start doing. I'm gonna start flying up there and dropping my stuff off because it's an easier.
no, but the online is easier now. It's a PDF file, man. It just
Am I?
upload.
You act like I don't do
Upload
this all the time.
videos. Like
You act like I don't do this all the time. That's what I'm telling you. I do this all the time, and it is a difficult process. And I'm not tech dumb. It is. I'm like, why is this so difficult? All you supposed to do, if the WGA, it takes 5 minutes. You put in your information, you upload your script, and you make your payment. That's it. That's it. U.S. Department of Copyright is so freaking
because
difficult. Anyway,
because
we'll
there's
have an
because they got to know you and where you live and stuff. Because here's the thing. So
I've done that.
while
I'm
I
at
was
a
at the
point.
facility, here's the funny thing. While I was at the facility, I mean yesterday doing the cybersecurity, they asked and somebody told them I did podcasts. That I had podcasts, right? That we do the Black Filmmakers Lounge, and of course the one my wife and I used to do. And
Mm-hmm.
so somebody, one of the instructors looked me up, Googled me, and she was like, "Wait, Michael, you talk about?" I said, "No, there's another Michael Melvin. He talks about economics, right?" And then
Ah,
that's why it's so important. That's why I use my middle initial, my middle name when I submit my
ah,
stuff, because you're not the only. Now you might be the only TK Henderson,
mm-mm,
but not the only Tamira. You know, like you see what I'm
not the only.
saying? Like, but
Yeah.
there's somebody who may share your name and is copywriting a book
Mm-hmm.
because I have books of poetry, I have music like spoken word CDs, I got my movie, like I said, and so I don't want to get
Okay,
mixed up
Derek
with
does it.
anybody.
Derek the film. Yeah, Derek does his film. Yeah, because I have an account. That's what I'm saying. I've been in this thing since my first script. Like, I think my first script, I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, you walk us through this thing because
All
I
right,
can't wait to see.
let's do it. Yeah, we're
But
gonna do that.
anyway,
Okay,
we're going to transition over to the
so
topic for today.
topic.
Oh,
This
wait,
is
wait,
a
wait, wait.
fun topic. Oh, you want to
Okay,
announce
hold
the
on.
topic? Go ahead, TK. I'll let
No,
you
no,
announce
no,
it.
no, no, no. I want to acknowledge Mark. So,
Mark. All right, Mark,
okay,
we're gonna
so
put
what
up.
are y'all opinion about how you create something
Come in, bro.
and copyright it that generations later can fall into the public domain? Oh, well, we can't. I don't think we can do anything about that if we
You can't do
copyright it
anything about
and
when it's time to fall into public
when
domain. It's
it's time
time,
to
but
fall into public domain, especially
remember,
if you're not
it's
alive
there
anymore.
as long as you're alive. It's after you die. So when I'm gone, I'm gone.
I'm going, and my legacy has done what it's gonna do. I don't know what you know. The
Yeah,
rest is up to my children. Look, the
I
rest is up to
mean,
my children. Got one,
isn't like
but all my children.
2025 or 2026 Batman Superman is up for grabs. Winnie the Pooh has already been up for grabs. You got some Mickey Mouse is up for grabs. Um,
Hmm.
you
I
know,
saw you, Jacoby. Mhm.
so it's kind of like he got his food. Uh,
Look, that play looked kind of good.
you
That
know,
play,
so
uh,
I think it's one of those things. Everything's not forever. We're not even gonna live that long. 100 years
yeah.
from now, and I'll give you guys a perspective on things like legacies, right? We hope that we can carry something on longer and longer and longer, but if most of us, we're not creating something that can be patented.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not designing something. Like if we started designing a new type of camera or new type of things or
Hmm.
an idea that could be patent, that's something different, right?
Yeah.
We're coming up with stories that, truth be told, it's how we're wrapping the story up because it's been told in several different ways in other places. It's not. I argue with people. I don't argue. I debate with people. There's no new stories. It's just how you wrap it.
Yeah.
And Mark, I'm going to say this to you. Do what you're supposed to do right now. Do what you're supposed to do and protect it the best way you can right now. Like I used to send out NDAs anytime people read my script, like when I first started. And then I found out, like, oh, by the way, there was a lawsuit against somebody who was in a screen competition and somebody stole their script. But anyway, and that
Yeah.
was like a few years ago. But I will say this: what I do is I used to send out that, and then I found out if people are going to steal your stuff, they're going to steal it. But I tell you what, my job is to create. My job is to protect it the best way I can and do what I'm supposed to do with it. And I can't worry about so much because you have to let people read your stuff or see your stuff to
Yeah.
when at the point it's time to get it out there. So it's like you have to release it, but it's like NDAs and all that stuff. It's people if people steal it, they're going to steal it. It's all you can do is the best you can with what you have been given, and that's what I say to you.
Yeah, about to say the truth be told, the only way you can protect your movie or idea for a story or script basically you have is if you're the only one that's going to film it.
Yeah. Well,
If
only
you
one
got
going to
the
look at it.
money.
Period.
No, but
Only
if you
one going
got
to.
the money, because like you can sign
Yeah.
actors to an NDA, but I will tell you there are actors who will do stuff they ain't supposed to do because they're worried about getting famous versus doing their job. You know,
Yeah.
especially with some newer actors. Some of
So
them
it's
aren't
like we
too
can't.
concerned of being
Yeah, as
famous.
creatives, we can't run scared. I mean, you know what I mean. We have to create. We have to get the stuff out there like we're supposed to, and we just do our best with what we have.
It's a
That's
gamble.
really all it is.
Scared
Yeah.
money don't make money.
Mm-mm.
Scared money don't make money. So anyway, now going over to our
All
topic for
right, all
today.
right. Topic of today. One of the
Go
topics
ahead.
of today. Things that you do as a filmmaker to other people may come off strange. And we kind of started it, I think last week when we were talking, because we were talking about talking to yourself and
Oh
responding,
yeah.
or and that's I think that's not number one, but that's one of the top ones. I think filmmakers talk to themselves, especially if you're a writer
Hmm.
or you're developing a story. You talk to yourself, you
Right.
play your characters, and you visualize how you're gonna see it.
Right.
But any of y'all got something that
Oh,
y'all
you know
do?
I got something. Go ahead, Jacoby.
Throw something in the
I
comments if
mean,
you go.
me, I just so I think sometimes when I stare,
Mm-hmm.
like at stuff or situations, they're wondering, and it could be to me, it might be just looking out into the water, right? But you see something as a cinematographer. I'm taking in the light, I'm taking in a whole bunch of other stuff, and especially when I'm out with my friends, if I stop and I'm observing a situation because it is a story or it looks quote unquote cinematic, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just start grabbing like, oh, wait, and they'll be like, come on, man, let's go. So those are or stop staring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, there you go. TK, what you
That's
got?
all you have? Oh, you
yeah,
might want to go
We
first.
just
You might
rounded
want to go
out. We
first,
go back
Franklin.
around. I'm sure something gonna pop up when
Okay,
someone says something.
so I have about four things I'll mention. So one kind of happened last week. I was actually looking at this girl's bracelet, and I was staring, like you said, the staring thing, because my mind starts working when I'm staring. So,
yep.
but anyway, I seen this girl's bracelet, and I read hip hop. It said something else, but it was a piece of jewelry, and I read hip hop. So automatically, I'm thinking love over lyrics, hip hop love story. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be a cool bracelet. Anyway, I came up with this whole design for Jade's heart bracelet. Anyway, just from staring at this girl's bracelet, and I've already have two ordered, and I ain't even designed the bracelet yet. So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
the second thing is the biggest thing for me as strange as a filmmaker and as a writer. Period. At this point, especially going into filmmaking, is I a lot of you may know my story. If you're new here or replay whatever, I walked out the bathroom after taking a shower and God told me to write a movie at 34 years old in an
Mm-hmm.
audible voice. It's the only time I've ever heard an audible voice from God. That's my story. That's how I started writing. So at this point, 2 years ago, God put me in development for this movie, Jade's Heart. The strangest thing for everybody is that I am following the instructions of God on this movie because He told me to write. He gave me this movie. He wants me to do it. And He is literally giving me instructions all the time on this movie. And it is the strangest thing to everybody. And it's like, I love you guys, but just stay tuned and pay attention because I have to follow the instructions I've been given because this film has to do something, a certain thing. and it
Mm-hmm.
has to save the souls of women. It's about generational hurt and pain. I have to follow the instructions. Yes, it has not been the appointed time. I have not been in, into pre-production, into filming yet. Yes, it's taken longer. Yes, my budget is high. Yes, God told me who the first AD was, and somebody said, "Are you crazy?" And I said,
Mm-hmm.
"I just told you. God told me that this person was going to. I know this is not the area he normally works, but unless you know
Mm-hmm.
another person by this name that we know in this industry, that is the person. He does producing, cinema, DP,
Mm-hmm.
producing and DP is his main stuff. And God said that he's my first AD. What do you want me to say? And I pick up the phone, and you can ask. These interviews are going to be great after we film because I pick up the phone and say, "Hey, God told you were my first AD, so you pray about it. Call me back later." Bye. And I hang up the phone.
Right.
And everybody is going to tell you that story who I've called and done that to, including Jalen Daniels. He's not on here. I literally, God shut me down for 2 hours. I couldn't watch TV. Like football was on. I couldn't watch football. I couldn't listen to music. I couldn't read. I was like, what are you trying to tell me? And so I just got quiet for 2 hours. And he said, Jalen Daniels is Mason. And I was like,
Mm.
and I sent him that. And he said, TK, we got to talk. He said, I was praying about auditioning for this role.
Hmm.
Mm.
And
Okay.
he looks exactly like the dad in the role. I kid you
Mm.
not. It was like, I know I'm not crazy, like literally. But anyway, so that is the strangest thing that does, that my little cousin is running back and forth. Uh, that's the strangest thing that people think about me as a filmmaker. I've even had somebody, producer, say, "Well, TK, how are you going to explain this to your investors? You need to do this and you need to do that." I said, "Then those not the investors for me. Like I can't sit here and go against what God has told me to have a flop movie
Mm-hmm.
and then me have to pay back $1.8 million because the movie flopped because I didn't follow directions. That's not gonna happen."
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, strangest thing, another strange thing I think people would think about me for filmmaking as a filmmaker is everything's a movie.
Yeah.
Everything's a movie. Like it could be the littlest thing. That's what I said when I was at the cybersecurity thing. My wheels was turning, and I was like,
You right. You so right. You were right. TK. I was thinking
and
TK.
yeah, and so I have dreams. Like I literally have dreams of whole
Yeah.
movies, and I have certain people I call and be like, "Yo, I had this dream," and my ideas come from the simplest little thing, and they just
Yes.
from that little thing. You, if I pin dropped, I might have a movie. You know, like the pin dropped,
Yeah.
and that meant there was a guy in the ceiling who dropped the pin, and then the story, and then it just starts growing from there, and like if a kid's getting the whooping, Jacoby, if a kid's getting the whooping, I gotta have a trilogy.
Yeah.
Like
He said I
so,
have a trilogy that would keep getting the whooping. That is hilarious.
and
Yeah.
so you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I think you might. I don't know if you know TK. I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it. Um, but
Yes.
then those are things that pop in my head, right? And so dreams, conversations, or just like staring off, looking outside, or something like that. Something comes from it. Sometimes I think of how you can make another film better,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and so like that could be strange. The talking, the dreams, I think those things are strange. Of course, when I was a kid, I would take my action figures and make a whole plot of a
Mm-hmm.
story all the way through,
Wow.
beginning, middle, end.
Wow.
Who the hero was, I already selected them at the beginning before I started
Wow.
playing. I mean, and so uh, I was writing a story in a sense, when I was
Mhm.
playing, and because where you see little kids and they take the toy and they just smash them together.
Oh
I
yeah.
Mhm.
couldn't play with those kids. Like, nah.
No, they were too
They
immature.
yeah,
They were
they they
immature
they,
kids.
they had no vision. They lacked vision. Like, I need a full
And
story.
but there is no vision. The people will perish. Now, do you
Yeah.
know you will perish? Do you know I am seven? Okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
no, but as a little kid, I couldn't play with those kids. I was like, oh, you don't
Oh
have an
wow.
idea where your story's going, huh? And they were like, huh?
Look,
Who's your good guy? Who's
see,
your villain? What's the main
Who
character
is the
doing?
protagonist
What are
here?
they after?
man, I'm just playing with my daggone toy.
But the friends that I was cool with that I played with, they were the
Oh
same.
my god.
We built the whole set. We
You
That is
found
designed
your
so
everything.
tribe.
interesting.
Huh?
You found
Yeah.
your tribe.
Yeah. And so we were doing, we built stuff, and before we even played, we planned it all out.
That is so interesting. It's
So
so interesting to when I hear people talk about the stuff they did as a child regarding to stories and all that stuff. Because I didn't jump into this game until I was 34. So it's so
Mm.
funny to hear people talk about their childhood with all of this. It's so funny.
yeah, I'm a very visual person. Like, the one thing about me is, and somebody was talking to me about it on the filmmaker side, because they were like, don't you think you're a director first before? I said, no, honestly, I'm a DP and artist first. I'm visual first. Becoming the director was secondary, because I could
Hmm.
see where I wanted things to go. And I'll just be real. Sometimes I don't trust people enough to tell the story the way I want it told.
Hmm.
And that made me the director,
Mm-hmm.
because you got to have a vision from the very beginning all the way through the end. And so, now that can be dangerous, because that means I don't like to relinquish control a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
where you got to work with people. You got to be willing to work with people, and you got to be willing to ingest other ideas or perspectives, because, like, I have certain people I work with and I trust. And you can say, hey, come here. Let me, I had a guy, one of my boys, tight. He does DP work for me, and he was filming. And I said, hey, before you do what you think you want to do everything I want first.
Hmm.
Now, his ideas may be good, but if I don't see my ideas filmed first, because his idea may be the one that I go with or works, but I got to get what I want out first, out the
And
way.
that's part of one leadership, two planning,
Hmm.
right? Because as a director, the movie should be your vision. What is your vision? And
Absolutely.
sometimes I believe you can add, and you do want to share ideas, but don't mess up your, like you said, don't forsake your vision, because that might be a good idea, right? It might be a nice shot, but it doesn't fit in the plan.
Right.
Or when you put it together, now you got it and don't got what you wanted, and now you're like, shucks.
Mhm. So
Right.
let's do everything. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do mine first. I got a shot list. I got my storyboard. Let's shoot this. And then
Yeah.
if we got time, what was your idea? Okay, let's shoot that. And that way, and I told him, I said, we have to have a working respect for each other, because we're very strong minded and we know what we're doing. So
Mm-hmm.
Right.
my thing was, hey, when I'm working on your films, I'm gonna shoot your way first, always. And if
Mm-hmm.
I have
Right.
some suggestions and you want them, then I'll make the suggestion. If you don't ask, I
Yeah.
don't say nothing. There's a gentleman in San Antonio when I used to shoot for him, Mike Jackson. Mike
Hmm.
used to say, "Hey, Michael, come here real quick." He invite me to the director's tent with his screens all up. He said, "What do you think about the shot? What do you think? What would you do?" He'd ask me. I'm like, "Hey, it's your set." He's like, "No, I'm asking you for a reason." Like, okay, because I am a DP, I am a director, and so I do see
Mm-hmm.
things. But it's a mutual respect, because again, I don't want to step on someone else's toes on their set, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But yeah, but like when you see stuff, yeah, that's me, you know. It was something else I was thinking of that I do that's probably straight. Oh,
Hmm.
public watching. So sometimes if you ever go to the mall or somewhere and there's tables or seats,
Oh
I'll
yeah.
just sit down and watch and
People
listen to
watching.
people's
Hmm.
conversations and stuff. I'm not trying to eavesdrop or nothing, but it's like, if it's fascinating, it could be a story.
Oh, I'm
So
listening. That's how Lincoln
or
Lawyer came about. Lincoln Lawyer came about because the guy was listening to a conversation that another guy was having,
yeah,
and that's
Wow.
and he created Lincoln Lawyer.
or I imagine what people are talking about. by their physical actions and responses.
We just be making up stuff in our head.
So
Yep.
that's what would make
Anybody.
me strange. Yeah, that's what would make us seem strange, right? Because you're out there in public, you're like, what is he saying to her? But see,
Yeah.
now you can watch, Instagram or YouTube, and people will be recording other people making the conversation up that they're talking about. And it'll be funny.
Yeah.
Or they'll
That
take an
is so
animal
funny.
or whatever.
Instagram
Yeah.
is something else, brother.
You know what? Let me tell you, I love Instagram because everything has its pros and cons, but I love it because the
Hmm.
creativity and the funniest thing. Have y'all seen the guy with the lawnmower and he was like walking into the people's house and he was doing some? I forgot what the rap song was.
Oh
It was just
Jesus.
something simple, but it was the most funny. I laughed so hard. It's like
Hmm.
they take the simplest things and just create. And I kid you not, I love Instagram because it pulls out the creativity and the fun in us.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I love that because we got so much going on. The world is so dark. You know what I mean? That we
Yeah.
need a light. We need a light source.
Yeah.
And to have fun and just look at something and just laugh. People just sit on Instagram and TikTok all day and just be laughing at people.
Oh,
But
I know I do.
that's a release. That's good. That's a good thing.
And I think the creation of social media and certain platforms where you could share originality has
Yes.
been a great eye opener or a great opportunity for a lot of creatives. But it's also been, unfortunately, um, manipulated by the leaser of the creatives as just as well, right? Because
Yeah.
Hmm.
now, like I watch Victoria, right? She's a Hispanic woman. Now there's all these cartoons that people are using Victoria's stuff on,
Yeah.
and they not giving her due.
Yeah.
You
That's the
like,
downside of it because you're putting your ideas out and people are taking the idea,
on
like
your
you
voice.
said,
They're
and
using
people
your voice and stuff. You telling a
or they just
story.
put the video or they just put the video behind them like this and they're like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
just
and
talking.
they getting looks
I
and
hate
views on
that.
their own page. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I hate that. That one I don't even. I switch off. I be like, mm-mm.
that's why I tell
I
people
don't
you
want to
got to
get
watch
reviews.
that middleman syndrome,
Yeah.
because
They
that's
are
what
the
it is. There's
worst.
a lot of middlemen who aren't
But jump
creative.
into
That's where AI becomes the thing. All right, how do you come
jump
up
into
with your
the next one.
stories? Yep, and that's a good lead. How do you come up with your stories, your ideas? What things happen or occur that help you generate ideas for your films?
Talk to people and watch them. Since I like documentaries, you start learning their story or seeing things around them and
Mm-hmm.
research. And then you like, yo, he got a great story. Like, or asking people about people. Like, so since I do sports, you'll talk to a reporter or um,
Hmm.
read articles on the kid or talk to the coach. And you find out, like, I interviewed a kid. He's actually and he plays for the Eagles. He got drafted by the Eagles, but he only
Yeah.
played football for like 2 years in high school, and he was from Ghana,
Oh wow.
Wow.
right? And he's like 6'8", 3 something.
Dang.
He played football.
Nicest kid. Like that's the kind of kid you hope makes it, right? And
Right.
Yes.
so
Oh wow.
his mom never saw him play football. He left Ghana to live with his father, but you don't know these things until you talk to people.
Mm.
And so I talk to people, ask questions, watch the kid on social media, or watch people, and you see, like, for me, that as a research tool, social media, you get to see, you learn people's stories. They tell you. Like, I interviewed a kid whose mother died before he won the championship at the CIAA tournament, and he
Oh
talked about
wow.
how that affected him. And basketball was his haven during that time of turmoil. His grandmother died and his mother died on his birthday,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he just went
Mm.
to play basketball because that was the place at that time where he had the most peace.
Wow.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that,
So
I think that's another way of looking at stuff. TK, how do you come up with stories? What you be doing?
Okay. Look, I'm a storyteller, so I'll make it quick. But I'll make it quick. So one story. Well, because I didn't call myself to write, I feel like I don't like. I'll let a story sit, like, but I'll let it sit. But if God doesn't flush it out, then it's gone. Like I have a few
Okay.
that I still have ideas for, but of course, but usually I write what I have ideas for. But if God doesn't flush it out, I don't write it. But there was a. I was working at a call center screening people for medical studies, and there was a lady who had twin daughters. She had twin daughters. One daughter killed the other daughter, identical twins.
Ooh.
The
Mm.
night she was partying, they went out party together, and one of them got killed by the other one. Like it was an accident, but the one
Wow.
got killed by the other.
Okay.
And the girl has come home. So she's had. Look, now I have to make sure I don't mix her story with my story I created.
Mm-hmm.
So I created a story called Mrs. Perfect, and it is a perfect Lifetime movie, and it's about a mother who that happened to, and the daughter came home from prison, and her
Mm-hmm.
trying to adjust to having the identical twin in the house of the daughter she.
Ooh, yeah.
Lost.
It's a great movie. It's called of course it's a great movie. I wrote it, but it's it's called Mrs. Perfect. But the second example I'm going to use is Jade. I was thinking about like how all of our grandmothers have a past, or our mothers and grandmothers have a past,
Mm-hmm.
and the sexual environment in Atlanta. And so
Mm-hmm.
those two things were sticking in my head. And then God fleshed out the story of Jade about generational hurt and pain. And that idea, I did not realize was going to be open, I guess what you call Pandora's box in regards to mistreatment of especially girls. My movie's about women. God said it's going to save the souls of women.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to put it like this. Yesterday, I had a classmate call me out of the blue. Um, we have a friendship, but we haven't talked in a while. Why was she a Jade? Why was I having that conversation before I got on this camera with my Amy this morning? Why is she a Jade? Like, I did not realize how many Jades were out there. And from what I
Mm-hmm.
just told somebody, I told her, and she said, she repeated some stuff I told her God said. But I told her, I said, it looks like God is opening mental wounds of women to be able to heal properly. And that
Mm-hmm.
is exactly when I wrote this movie 3 years ago, however, 2.5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come up with this, you know what I mean? I just kind of let the idea sit, but I didn't know it was going to be for a bigger purpose. And
Mm-hmm.
because I followed the idea that God gave me, now I'm learning the magnitude. He even told me yesterday that I got to have the bandwidth to listen to all these stories. I didn't understand the magnitude of what God was doing with this film because how many original films do I have? 13, 14 that are
Mm-hmm.
features. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
never knew that I was going to write something that's going to turn out to be able to be life changing like this movie is. So
Mm-hmm.
so I'm happy I allowed him to give me this idea and I acted on it when he gave it to me because now I see the worldwide effect that it's about to have. And it's like saying this now and about to watch it take place. This is about to be like crazy.
What's up, Doctor? Dr. Jones just joined us.
Daddy is
Uh,
Dr. Jones from the other
y-
country,
you know
from
what,
the other
TK?
country.
I'm gonna give you this. What I recognize about your stories, your scripts. If we talk about 4 or 5 of your films, they're based on family,
Yes, the last
right?
four.
If
Hmm.
we talk about um, 3 of your films, they're based on legacy or a past affecting the future, right? So, for you as a storyteller, your main perspectives are about family, legacy, or impact of one's past on their future. They all connect, like the blood, Jade.
The
You
Blood,
see what I'm saying?
Project Him,
Yeah.
and what was the other one? Love Over
Uh,
Lyrics. I did not
yeah.
realize this, y'all, until like what we were talking about. I said, wait a minute, my last four films have to do with family and legacy.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Last
And that,
four.
and that usually is because that's the place in your life that you're at.
Which script you want to
Right.
read? I'll send it to you.
Yeah. So Dr.
Look,
Jones said, "Where can I go to see your work?"
look. You tell me the genre because I have other than other than erotic, western, sci-fi, or horror. You got to call Derek for that. You like you got
I
to call
got.
Derek for that one. What would you? What kind of movie would you like to see? Jay. You can see Jade love over lyrics. Um,
so
yeah, just tell me what kind of work you would like to see, and I'll send you a script. You can read it on the plane back.
so I got a question for you, TK. Could you do a spy espionage type film?
Oh, he say he into drama. Okay, so Jade is precious mixed with Players Club. Um, if you want, look, how deep do you want to go? That's the question. How deep do you want it? Uh,
Is that
I if
mixed with
I
Players
think
Club? That's a
no for
unique
real,
mixture. How do
no
you?
for real.
Now
Okay, you
I'm
want
intrigued. I'm
look.
compelled.
He
Do you
said,
want to
"Send
read
it."
it? Look, he said send it. I will send you Jade. Do you want to read Jade Jacoby? I will send you Jade.
Oh,
Um, Jade is heavy. Jade is heavy. I can say
uh,
Jacoby. I'll send you something different to read.
yeah, I'm on
Um,
summer break. I don't need nothing stressing me out.
okay, I'll send you. Okay, I'll send you. Maybe you might be privy to Project Him. Everybody ain't privy to that. Look,
Okay.
Michael, no, Michael read it. Everybody's not privy to that. So that one's a fun one you'll like.
Okay.
Anyway, I think I think I can write anything that is given to me because, like the prison movie, I literally, I have to do my research.
Mhm.
I had to do my research, but being able to take my mind into places like for spy and all that stuff, it's like it's levels to this. So
Right.
it's like at different levels, your mind opened up to different things. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think
Hmm.
I may be able to write that. I would probably, I mean, I would have to do a lot, do a lot of research like what I did with the prison. But while I was writing the
Mhm.
prison movie, I went to jail. So I thought that was pretty funny. I was there for one day. I was there for one day, but I went to jail and I learned some stuff inside the jail that I was able to put in the movie.
Mm.
They said,
So
You
"You
it
got
got
was it
that?
right and
it
shoot
was
your
pretty
own
interesting.
ish." That's right.
Yeah, I ain't fooling with you, TK. I love your research, throwing yourself into it, because I'm not doing that.
Well,
Well,
Mm-mm.
I didn't throw myself into it. I got arrested during the time I was writing the film called Trapped in Hell. I got
Oh,
arrested. That's what I'm telling. I went to jail.
yo, nut. I'm sorry. I can't even see TK going to jail.
I have a. It's funny because I have a
unless it
friend
was a
who's.
civil rights
I have a
day.
friend. Listen, I have a friend who sold drugs, did prostitution, all kind of stuff, and she laughs at me. She said, "You're the one with the felony." And the people were looking at me like, "You have a felony?" I was like, "Yes, I had a felony." Lying to Section 8 housing, 2002 to 2004, just to clear it up. That's what the felony was for. I lied about my income because I was scared they was gonna raise my rent too high, and I couldn't afford to pay it. So I got busted. Other people get away with that all
Mhm.
the time. But they arrested me 5 years later, and everybody was like,
You know,
"My sister had it."
there's a movie till this day because it's based on a true story about a town in Texas called American
Mhm.
Violet.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. With Nicole
exactly.
Bahari
Till
and
this day,
Alfie Woodard.
and because like people, everybody's not a criminal. Like you got to understand the dynamics of where people are and stuff. But like
Mm-hmm.
society is like, oh, they've been locked up. That is, well, technically, if you're voting for Agent
Mm-mm,
Orange
mm-mm,
this year,
mm-mm,
you're
mm-mm,
voting for a
mm-mm,
criminal to be in office because he
mm-mm,
is a true
mm-mm.
felon. He's been convicted of a crime, actual convicted.
Mm.
You, you know what they're saying now? They're saying Jesus was a felon and I followed him. That's what they're
Oh,
posting now about
they
that.
got excuses to do the wrong. Everybody come up with an
I'm,
excuse to do something wrong.
I kid you not. I
But
kid you not.
I'm not getting
I'm a,
political. I'm just saying.
anyway, yep. But
Yeah.
it's interesting. Yeah, like you said, it's interesting how we come up with stories because some stories are just for fun. But
Mhm.
every story is not that deep. Like the story I'm going to send Jacoby. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
it's a fun story, but ooh, I'm sorry they dropped something. But there are lessons
Tell them
there.
how you
But
came up with the
everybody,
story.
which one? Project M?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You was talking to me.
Okay,
I
well
was
you tell
talking
them because
about I was talking about we were on actually it was on the show. We were talking about could um Misfits. I mean,
Yes.
science. The one where
Weird
the
Science.
Corey and them, yeah, Weird Science be done
Weird Science.
and up to date and stuff. And then I broke
You're
down
right.
how you could do it. And then TK
You're
went to
right.
work. And she's like, Snooky, go to work. Like she just
My brain, like he said, when you listen to something or see something, how your brain click. But Project Him is an amazing story, and it's a family story. It's a family fun, amazing story.
that's her Disney
Gotta
story.
And
check it
I
out.
can't wait to see. Yeah, I can't wait to see what Jacoby thinks about it. And I'm gonna, as soon as we got this thing, I'm gonna send it right over. But I cannot.
All right, I'm gonna check
You
it
got to
out.
call me. You have to
I
call me
got
when
a
you finish reading.
I got a
Dr.
couple
All
Thaddeus
movies
Jones.
for you.
Thaddeus Dr. Jones, you got to call me when you finish reading because I need to hear the feedback after you finish reading it. So that's all I ask is you guys to call me after you read it because it'd be some little simple thing you may say and I'll be like, you know what, or I
Mhm.
just like to hear that it works. You know what I mean? But anyway, but I want
But
to say one more thing
with
before we end.
all right,
But
go ahead.
that'll be my 60. No, that'll be my 60-second gem. So keep going.
But I want to say something real quick about Project Him. When I talked to TK, her first thing was, well, it's a STEM movie. See, she understands causes, right? And when it's time, because you could actually shoot this movie and connect it with STEM.
Yep.
Um, you know what? Fantasy football, or
Exactly.
that was a STEM movie because it had it embedded with the daughter and the father interaction. You know, he's a football player. She was in a robotics club,
I
and
loved it.
those are things. That's why I say we as filmmakers, and this is where ideas come for me all the time. I'm always about empowerment, right?
Mhm.
But I'm also about the empowerment of what are we not discussing that
Mhm.
needs to be discussed, right? When I sit at a table with a bunch of people, like I did this week, and we're talking about the importance of deed upon death instead of giving your house over in a will, transfer of ownership for your car upon your death so that you don't have to put your kids through probate because on average most people can't afford the money it takes in probate because it's usually a percentage of what everything you have costs,
Mhm.
right? And that lawyer is going to get paid, the court's going to get paid. So, and then why is it important to have a will? But when do you have a trust, or when do you do other things to make sure who's the beneficiary on the account? So you have
Mhm.
transfer of funds on your bank account to people, so that you don't have to worry about the probate, or they could have the money for it, things like
Mhm.
that. And so I always look at what's missing in our community that we lack the education on, and how can I put that into a film or utilize
Mhm.
it somehow in a movie. But go ahead, TK. I'm sorry.
All I'm going to ask you, Mike, you to do is just like you're an author now. You've been an author. You're an author. Can you put that in the ebook and put it up for sale? All what you just said, you can put it in the film and stuff also. But I'm going to ask you to pray about that. If you can put what you just said, how to do that stuff without having to go through probate, and put it in the ebook to sell for people like me.
Well, there's lawyers doing it. Tiffany, my wife's setting the thing. She gets all this stuff too and tells me. So I mean, that's why
Just
I
put
say
it in the
put it in a
book.
movie because I know that people
No.
are gonna watch it. But but here's the thing. That's where we align ourselves with other entities in the film industry to make those connections. You
Yeah.
get what I'm
Well,
saying?
make them connections because
Right.
that's some of this.
You
Yeah.
you can still, but here's the thing: you can still put it in a movie. I'm just asking for you to make a how-to book, like just a how-to ebook. I don't care if it's 5, 6, 7, 8 pages, but and sell that because that information alone will, like you said, without going to probate and saying all this, saving all this money, people need to know that. So if you
Mhm.
can just straight up do an ebook, pray about doing an ebook on that to sell to all of us, that would be perfect. You can still put it in a movie. You can still make storylines out of it. I'm just asking for that specific that you pay for that because, like you said, people don't know, and we need to know, and we need that information, and you have it.
All right. Well, I got it. Some of it from my wife, but yeah.
Both of it. It
No,
can,
I
both
got
of
you.
y'all.
Jacoby looking
Yeah,
at me like, man,
by
just tell
Michael and
us.
Tiffany Melvin.
Yeah.
No, for
But
real.
yeah,
We will.
no,
We definitely.
I
We.
get you. I get you. I mean, that's where I'm just kind of like, because she told me one day she was going to sit in I think when I was going to Texas to spend time with my dad to help him, right? And she's like, yeah, well, I wish you could do it, but you're going to be with your dad at the doctor's appointment. But I'll be online with these lawyers and they're going to break down all the stuff. So what she did with her mom, and because they just paid her mom's house off, all this stuff, and they're planning all the things. And so like my parents planned all the things, like their graves are paid for, but that's also a benefit because my father was in the military, you know. So but that all that's handled, it's all taken care of. And so that's why see, Thaddeus said I did mine went through a lawyer. So he did his through a lawyer. And that's what she listened to. They had a podcast or they had a Zoom thing, and he got on and you heard them. They explain each thing and what you needed to know about each one. And then she takes notes. Like Tiffany, TK, my wife takes notes. And she got everything, but that's the importance. But yeah, having a podcast, having a thing, even us as filmmakers having a panel, which we're gonna look at doing in August, of other filmmakers being on the panel, and we just asking the questions because it's so important to find out what you don't know and figure out. And yeah, I still have the book. I gotta get that out there.
I'm telling you, the book is going
Did
to
you
be
use it yet? You're supposed to test it out for me.
Not yet, because I got to print it out. I remember I
It's
was
a lot
trying
of
to figure
pages.
out Lewis.
What's up, Lewis? Lewis was at a masquerade party. He was masquerading as Lewis.
I ain't talking to Lewis because he doesn't like the acolyte.
Yo, them two called me while I was at the cyber security thing. And Lewis is like, we gotta talk to you. And everybody's looking at him because we're playing this Uno. Oh, all right, Uno game. It's called All Wild. There's no numbers. There are skip twos, skip, targeted, draw two. Like you pick the person who has to draw two. Why? It was brutal. People,
I like the original.
you will lose. Look, you might lose friends. Lewis, this is still a show that children can watch sometimes.
Lewis, I'm gonna need you to bring it down to. I'm gonna need you to bring that down 2 or 3.
If you're not at work, Lewis, we can do this. We can have this convo when we get off the show.
Okay.
But Acolytes was a beast this week. That's all I'm saying. And the boys, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk because there's things we need to be coming up with. But all right, so 60-second gem, TK.
So my 60-second gem, and this is to Mark, this is to Thaddeus, Dr. Jones, Derek, Lewis, Jacoby, Michael, everybody who is a creator, Mike, M. Legend Brown, everybody is that's it. I went to see Creed, and I'm tearing up thinking about it. I went to see Creed, and when he said, Rocky said, "What do you have to prove?" Well, it was the name of the show, and he said, "I have to prove that I'm not a mistake." And I started crying. I was like, "Oh God, that's so sad. This, and that," and I'm crying. The movie ends, and I'm walking down the stairs, and God tells me, He drops on me. He basically, and it wasn't an audible voice, like I said on the other one time, but He basically tells me, "That's why," I said, "This was such a great film," and God said, "That's why I created you, to make great films." And I just boo-hooed. Coming out that theater, my eyes were red. Where y'all go? Where y'all go? Hold on just a second. Run trail. Make sure are they leaving? Oh, okay. Look, I don't have a hotel room key. Sorry. And I just boohoo cried, and I want to say that to all, and I always say we were created to create. All of us were created to recreate. So take what God has given us and asked us to do, and be good stewards of it. That is my 60-second gem.
Okay. Mine is, do not watch films or have conversations with people who think they know the lore better than the writers, because you will not have fun. All right. Enjoy your movie, enjoy your fanfare, and let it happen. Do not be like some people I know and know the Lord better and think they know the Lord better than a writer. That's all I'm gonna say. That's my 60-second gem. Enjoy watching the show.
60 seconds was
And
talking
there we
smack,
go.
yo.
Not targeted at anyone, just a general
No, it
statement.
was targeted. He knows it too.
Just a general statement.
All right, my 60 seconds is ideas are all around you. Stories are everywhere. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna tell you like this. Everybody has a story.
Good luck.
Every story can be a good story. And some stories can be great stories. The key to any and every story that's told is the audience you tell it to. And when you understand that, you'll understand the importance of telling the story you want to tell, because you'll understand the audience who's going to sit in front of you to you watch it or hear it or see the story play out, right?
Yep.
Or read it. So don't get hung up on everyone's going to like it. They're not. You just need to be hung up on who needs to hear my story and who can I tell it to. And a great storyteller works on their craft of telling the story versus worrying too much about who's hearing the story, whether it's one person, 3 person, or 5 people, because the key is to get the person you tell to go back and say, I heard this story, and be interested in hearing it when you speak it again. That's my 60 seconds. So don't forget to be strategic, intentional, and authentic, because that is the Black Filmmakers Lounge way. That's what we talk about. That's what we do. That is probably one of our greatest mantras. We love you guys. We appreciate y'all for hanging out here at the Black Filmmakers Lounge. And just a reminder what we're about, because the Black Filmmakers Lounge is where, whether you're an independent filmmaker, a novice, or a professional, where we come together to gain insight, perspective through education, information, networking, which is very key importance, and discussions about the best industry practices that will advance us as a Black interdependent film community. When we work on our community, we can align with other communities and we can build together. But it's a chance for us to tell our stories our way so that people can understand who we are. So don't forget that. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget what you're about. And go out, make it happen. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I think we are going to start really focusing more of our YouTube channel until we shift over to another channel, because I got some other things in the work. By the way, Canon just dropped their STM dual eye fisheye lens. About to go pick mine up if Best Buy has it, or I gotta wait till B&H has it. I know Adorama has it, and I think Amazon will release it today or tomorrow. So, like, subscribe, share, have fun, enjoy your week. I like to thank Tamara TK Henderson for coming and hang out with us as well, hosting with us. I like to thank Jacoby Simmons for coming and hanging out with us. And I like to thank each and every one of you, from Lewis, Dr. Jones, my brother Derek, Mark. Who else is on here? If you're here, let us know. Michael Brown, everybody who's watching, like, subscribe, share. Thank you for your support. And we'll catch you guys next Saturday. And I'll be from Texas streaming. All right, y'all have a best. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the sun. Be safe. And we out. Like, subscribe, share. What?
Like, subscribe,
Peace.
and share. Hey, like, subscribe, and
Peace out.
share. He said eat stale grits. Check your email, Jacoby. Dr. That is Dr. Jones. Check your email.
All right.
I stay ready. Go ahead. Good night, y'all. I mean,
Good night.
have a
Good day.
great Saturday.
Have a good
Bye.
weekend.